CO2 traps, also commonly called EVS or encephalitis virus surveillance traps, are used to collect host-seeking female mosquitoes. Before we learn how to set one up, let's look at the anatomy of a CO2 trap. There are a few variations of the CO2 trap, but all consist of the same basic parts, including a trap body with a fan, a collection container, a power source, and a source of carbon dioxide. In this video, we're using dry ice that is held in an insulated container. When working with dry ice, it's important to don your personal protective equipment, or PPE. This includes safety glasses and frost-proof gloves. We begin by filling our insulated containers with dry ice. Dry ice is solid carbon dioxide that sublimes to produce the gaseous CO2 that attracts host-seeking female mosquitoes. Once all the containers have been filled for traps to be placed over the next few hours, put them into a large ice chest and optionally cover them with a blanket that will help keep them cold for longer. Dry ice is a hazardous material that should always be transported with adequate ventilation, ideally in the bed of a truck. Never transport dry ice in an enclosed vehicle. At each trapping location, select an appropriate site for hanging the trap. Place traps where you expect that mosquitoes will seek blood meals, often along ecological margins with trees or other vertical structures and protected areas for resting. Ideally, the trap should be placed in a shady area where there is minimal wind. Hang the trap from the branch of a tree, bush, or any other sturdy anchoring point such that the trap body hangs about 3 to 5 feet from the ground. The specific position of the trap affects mosquito numbers, so for routine trapping, select a place to hang the trap that will not change or be disturbed over time. When establishing a new trapping location, it is sometimes necessary to try a few different trap positions to determine which yields the largest catch. After the best position is chosen, this position should be used consistently in future trapping at the same location to increase comparability of mosquito counts between time periods and geographic locations. Once you've identified an appropriate trap location, connect your trap to the power source and ensure that the fan is on and running in the correct direction to draw air into the trap. Some trap models include small light bulbs to increase the numbers and diversity of mosquitoes collected, including male mosquitoes that do not blood feed. However, lights reduce battery life and attract non-target nocturnal insects that can make sorting more difficult, so many programs prefer to remove the light bulb. If your trap body includes a light, make sure it is lit after connecting a power source. If desired, you can attach a secondary attractant, such as the BG lure shown in this video, to the top or side of the trap body. Your trap body may hang from the CO2 source or separately. If separate, you'll want to make sure that the CO2 source is near the trap body. Remember to record the ID for the trap and site as well as the date it was placed. You can place this on a tag inside the collection container. Or for traps that are operated routinely, it can also work to label the outside of the collection container if it has sturdy walls to which tape can be applied. Attach the collection container to the trap body and ensure it is secure. CO2 traps are typically left in the field overnight to capture mosquitoes that are most active during the early evening and morning. Return to the trap site the next day and gently tap the net to ensure any mosquitoes that may be resting at the top are dislodged. Quickly draw down on the net while pulling the cinch cord tight to trap the mosquitoes. Take a look to make sure the fan is still on and make a record of any issues. For example, if the fan was not on when the trap was retrieved, or if you found ants in the trap, which might reduce the number of countable mosquitoes. Next, disconnect the power source and remove the trap. Place the trap net that contains live mosquitoes into a large ice chest with dry ice to freeze the mosquitoes and preserve any potential pathogens. Alternately, you can place the net with mosquitoes into an insulated container, such as a large cooler, to keep them alive while you transport them back to your facility. If you keep them alive, ensure that you protect the mosquitoes from extreme heat or desiccation while in transit. After returning to your facility, place the mosquitoes immediately into a freezer set to -80 degrees Celsius until you are ready to identify them. If an ultra-low temperature freezer is not readily available, You may also keep the mosquitoes in an ordinary freezer at -20 degrees Celsius for a few hours prior to sorting and counting them. If the mosquitoes are still alive, another option that does not involve freezing before sorting is to anesthetize the mosquitoes at ambient temperature using a few drops of triethylamine. This should be done in a fume hood or well-ventilated area outdoors. Avoid breathing vapors from triethylamine. A few minutes of exposure to triethylamine leaves the mosquitoes alive but incapable of walking or flight. Anesthetized mosquitoes can be held alive in a refrigerator at 4 degrees Celsius overnight, if all mosquitoes cannot be counted on the day of collection. Regardless of the initial method used for knockdown and sorting, all mosquitoes for arbovirus testing should be frozen at -80 degrees Celsius after sorting while awaiting testing. It is important to limit the number of freeze-thaw cycles, as each thaw reduces the chance of detecting arboviruses in the mosquitoes.